There was a small town where nights were unusually quiet. Not the kind of quiet that feels empty, but the kind that feels like the world itself is resting. In that town lived a boy named Ian. Ian was not like other children. He laughed, he played, but deep inside, he always felt a little tired. Not from running or studying, but from thinking too much. Every night, he would lie in bed, staring at the ceiling, waiting for sleep to come. But sleep rarely came easily. One night, unable to rest, Ian quietly stepped outside his house. The air was cool, the sky was wide and filled with soft, glowing stars. And the moon, it looked closer than usual, almost as if it was watching him. Ian began to walk. He didn't know where he was going. His feet simply moved, slowly, gently, as if something invisible was guiding him. The streets were empty. The houses were asleep. Even the wind seemed to whisper instead of blowing. After a while, Ian noticed something strange. At the end of a narrow path, there was a faint silver light. He had never seen that path before. And yet, it didn't feel unfamiliar. Without thinking, he followed it. The path curved softly, like a ribbon of light, leading him away from the town. With every step, the world grew quieter. Not silent, but softer, calmer. Finally, the path opened into a place that made Ian stop. It was a garden, but not an ordinary garden. Everything in it glowed. The grass shimmered like tiny stars. The flowers were silver and blue, slowly opening and closing as if they were breathing. And above it all, the moon hung low, brighter and bigger than ever before. Ian stepped inside. The moment his foot touched the glowing grass, he felt something change. The heaviness inside him began to loosen. Not disappear, but soften, as if someone had gently taken part of it away. He looked around, amazed. "Welcome," a soft voice echoed. Ian turned quickly. "Who's there?" he asked. For a moment, there was only silence. Then the moon flickered slightly. "I have been waiting," the voice said again. Ian's eyes widened. "The moon," he whispered. The light shimmered like a quiet smile. Yes, Ian didn't feel scared. Strangely, he felt safe. He slowly sat down on the glowing grass. It was warm, like sunlight, even though it was night. "What is this place?" he asked. "This," the moon replied gently, "is the garden where tired hearts come to rest." Ian looked around again. It made sense. Everything here felt peaceful, like nothing in the world could reach him. "I feel lighter," he said quietly. "That is because," the moon said, "you are not holding everything so tightly anymore." Ian lowered his eyes. He didn't even realize how much he had been holding inside. Thoughts, worries, questions, feelings he couldn't explain. "They don't go away," Ian said softly. "I know," the moon replied. "But they don't have to stay heavy." A gentle breeze passed through the garden. As it did, something magical happened. Tiny lights began to rise from the flowers. They floated slowly in the air, like fireflies. "What are those?" Ian asked. "They are unspoken thoughts," the moon said. "The ones people carry in silence." Ian watched them carefully. Then, without realizing it, he took a deep breath. And as he exhaled, a small light rose from his chest. It floated upward, joining the others. Ian blinked in surprise. "That was mine?" he asked. "Yes," the moon said softly. Ian closed his eyes. For a moment, he just breathed. Then another light rose, and another, each one carrying a piece of what he had been holding inside. With every light that left him, his chest felt less tight. His mind, quieter. "You don't have to keep everything," the moon whispered. Ian nodded slowly. He didn't try to understand it. He just let it happen. The garden grew brighter as more lights floated into the sky. The air felt softer. Time felt slower. Or maybe, it didn't exist at all. Ian lay back on the glowing grass. The moonlight covered him like a blanket. For the first time in a long while, he felt completely at ease. "Will this place always be here?" he asked, his voice sleepy. The moon shimmered gently. "This garden appears when it is needed. And when I wake up," Ian whispered. "You may forget the path," the moon said. "But you will remember the feeling." Ian smiled faintly. That was enough. His eyes slowly closed. The glowing lights drifted above him like a quiet sky of their own. The flowers continued their gentle rhythm. The breeze whispered softly. And the moon watched over everything, calmly, quietly. Ian's breathing slowed, his thoughts faded, and wrapped in the soft glow of the hidden garden, he fell into a deep, peaceful sleep. By morning, Ian was back in his bed. The garden was gone. The glowing path had disappeared. Everything was as it had always been. But something inside him had changed. He felt lighter, calmer, as if the weight he carried had become something softer, something he could finally rest with. And somewhere, beyond what the eyes can see, the moon garden continued to exist, waiting for the next tired soul who needed a place to rest. Crescent moon.